Imagine this. You're sitting in your class, chatting with friends, when suddenly the loudspeaker crackles. A panic voice, chaos in the hallways, and the realization that you are about to experience the craziest stuff in the next few minutes. These are 3 real terrifying stories of school lockdowns. Brace yourself for the horror that follows. It was just a regular day at school. The faint hum of chatter filled the classroom as the teacher's voice carried on with the lesson. Outside, the sun streamed through the windows, casting long, warm shadows across the desks. But everything shifted in an instant. The school intercom crackled to life, and the principal's calm but firm voice echoed, "This is a lockdown. Please secure your classrooms immediately." For a moment, the world seemed to stand still. The teacher's expression tightened, fear flashing across her face before she masked it with a forced calm. Chairs scraped against the floor as students hurried to follow instructions. The windows were covered, the lights turned off, and we huddled together in silence, the air heavy with unease. As the minutes dragged on, the muffled sound of footsteps reached us, faint but deliberate. They echoed in the hallways, growing louder with each step. Every creak of the floorboards sent shivers down our spines. We held our breaths, hearts pounding in unison, as the footsteps stopped just outside the door. A shadow loomed under the crack, dark and ominous. Someone was there. Suddenly, the doorknob rattled violently. A few of us stifled gasps, clutching each other tightly. The teacher held a finger to her lips, her eyes wide with fear, as if willing us to melt into the walls. The intruder banged on the door, each strike reverberating through the room like a thunderclap. Then, as quickly as it started, the banging ceased. The shadow disappeared, and the footsteps retreated, fading into the distance. We sat there in the suffocating silence, the only sound the faint sobbing of a classmate who couldn't hold it together any longer. Minutes felt like hours before the all-clear signal finally came. The lockdown was lifted, but the fear lingered, etched into our memories like a scar. To this day, I can still hear those footsteps and feel the terror of that moment. But that wasn't the only time I've felt fear grip my soul. Another memory stands out, vivid and chilling. It was late one evening during a trip to the mountains. The air was crisp, the stars scattered across the sky like diamonds. We were staying in a secluded cabin, surrounded by dense woods that seemed to stretch on forever. The perfect escape from the chaos of city life, or so we thought. That night, as we gathered around the fireplace, laughing and sharing stories, a sudden knock on the door silenced us. It was odd. We hadn't seen another soul for miles. The knock came again, louder this time. My friend, trying to play it cool, joked about it being a bear or some mountain creature, but the unease was palpable. Against our better judgment, we decided to check. We flicked on the porch light, illuminating the dense forest, but no one was there. The wind howled through the trees, carrying with it an eerie silence, just as we were about to dismiss it as our imaginations running wild. The knock came again, but this time from the back door. Panic set in. We double-checked all the locks, barricaded the doors with furniture, and turned off every light, plunging the cabin into darkness. Huddled together, we listened intently, every creak and rustle outside amplifying our fear. Then we heard it, a low guttural sound, almost like a growl, followed by footsteps crunching in the snow. The sound circled the cabin, slow and deliberate, as if whoever, or whatever, was out there was toying with us. My heart raced as the footsteps stopped right outside the window. For what felt like an eternity, there was silence. And then a face appeared, pressed against the glass, pale and ghostly, with hollow eyes that seemed to pierce through us. We screamed, scrambling to the furthest corner of the room. But when we mustered the courage to look again, the face was gone. The footsteps retreated, fading into the forest, leaving behind only the echo of our terror. We didn't sleep that night, and by morning, the snow outside revealed a chilling sight, a trail of footprints leading up to the cabin, and none leading away.
Sometimes the scariest experiences aren't the ones with loud bangs or ghostly apparitions. Sometimes it's the subtle, creeping dread that seeps into your bones, making you question everything you thought you knew about the world. Like the time I stayed at an old bed and breakfast during a road trip. The place had charm, no doubt about it. Antique furniture, creaky wooden floors, and a warm, welcoming host. But something felt off. Maybe it was the way the host seemed too eager to please, or the way the other guests avoided eye contact. I brushed it off, chalking it up to my overactive imagination. That night, as I lay in bed, the house settled with its usual groans and creaks. But then I heard it, a soft humming, like a lullaby, coming from the hallway. It was faint, almost melodic, but deeply unsettling. I got up to investigate, peeking through the crack in the door. The hallway was empty, bathed in the dim glow of a single, flickering light bulb. I stepped out, my footsteps echoing on the wooden floor. The humming grew louder, leading me to the staircase. Slowly, cautiously, I descended, each step creaking under my weight. The sound seemed to come from the sitting room, but when I entered, it fell silent. The room was empty, the fireplace was in the dark. As I turned to head back upstairs, something caught my eye. A mirror on the wall, its surface cloudy with age. For a brief moment, I could have sworn I saw a figure standing behind me. I spun around, but there was no one there. When I looked back at the mirror, my own reflection stared back, but it felt wrong. The eyes seemed darker, the expression colder, almost as if it wasn't entirely me. I didn't sleep that night. At dawn, I packed my bags and left without looking back. To this day, I can't explain what happened in that house. But one thing's for sure, some places hold secrets that are better left undiscovered.
Now, what would you do if you were trapped in one of these terrifying situations? Could you survive the fear? Leave a like to let us know that you could. If you think you've heard it all, think again. Subscribe and join the Hortales family for more bone-chilling stories that will keep you up at night. Don't just watch. Dare to face the unknown. And if you've had your own terrifying experiences, drop them in the comments. You never know, your story might just be the next one to haunt this channel.